Hey, what's going on guys? Salman Ahmed here, back from Salmed, and in this week's video I wanted to focus on a few key things that I wish I would have known going into my freshman year of college. So as I'm finishing my last week of undergrad and finishing up my last final exams, I thought why not make a video of some things that I wish I would have known during my freshman year and even my sophomore and junior year that I would have implemented earlier. And I wish I would have known these things so that I could have really saved a lot of time, but also build better relationships. And I'll get into what I mean. So to jump right into it, I wish I knew the power of office hours. So office hours is a dedicated set of time that professors are required to set aside, which are meant to mentor students and kind of act as a tutor for students to come in and ask questions about previous lectures, or honestly ask or talk about anything with your professor regarding the class that you're taking. Let's get into two main ways of why this helps. Number one, if it's not obvious, you're learning from the person who's teaching the class, but also you're learning from the person who's going to be writing your exams. So it's in your best interest to try to hone and mine as much information from your professor, because these are the people who are teaching you, but then again, as I mentioned, is writing your exam. So your grade kind of depends on how much information you can extract from your professor. So as I mentioned earlier, talked about earlier, and I'll make future videos about this, studying your notes and being on top of your notes and your class material every single day. So as you're studying the material, go through it and take notes and highlight areas that you're confused about, and shoot your professor an email saying, hey, are you free the next office hour day or whenever that is, and try to schedule a meeting. Be like, hey, I want to come in and ask you some questions because I was kind of confused on this certain topic. There should be no sort of shame or shyness when you're emailing your professor, because they're literally setting this time aside for you to come in and ask questions, you and your classmates to ask questions. So why not take advantage of that as much as you can? So that's one reason why you should try to take advantage of office hours. But number two, it's also a great opportunity to build a great and lasting relationship with your professor. There's going to come a time where you're going to need a recommendation letter, and you want them to know more about you than just the person who sat in the middle of the class and answered questions and ended up getting an A in the class. So a lot of times what I would do, I was go to my professor's office hours, but then I'd also, after finishing asking whatever questions I had, I'd have like a normal conversation with them, because professors are humans too. So I'd ask them about their day, I'd ask them about their family, what hobbies they have. And over time, we were generating great conversations. And some of the best relationships that I've had in college were through my professors. And some of the best professors I had were the people who I built these great relationships with, because I knew where they were coming from, they knew where I was coming from. I kind of got used to how their exams were, how they teach the class. The second thing that I wish I knew coming into college was how much studying with someone else helps, specifically someone with the same goals and the same future plans as you do. I actually ended up making a great friend, and freshman year, sophomore year, this kid was always showing up in my classes because we were both pre-med, so we were taking the same classes and ended up taking the same professors. And one day I just asked him, hey, you want to study? I see that you're pre-med and you're showing up in my classes. He's like, yeah. So we started studying, and it was a great combo because maybe he might have known things that I didn't understand in class, and vice versa. So we'd be teaching each other these different concepts, and that really helped reinforce these concepts in my head when I was teaching him, or vice versa, he was teaching me. Because when you teach someone something, you're really solidifying that information. So when it comes test day, you remember those concepts that you were teaching them, and boom, 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 you're popping out A's like copy machine. And it's also a great motivating factor, because when you don't want to study, you're not the only one that's in the same mindset and boat as you, that you'd rather be doing something else than studying for this genetics exam on like a Friday night. And because you guys are both going through that same struggle, it helps build a friendship, because you guys are both going through it and you're trying to help each other up, like stay motivated, trying to get each other through the exam, make sure like everyone understands, you guys are both understanding the material. And honestly sparks a huge motivation, because when you don't want to study, you have someone keeping your goals in front of you, and that's your friend, because when you see him, you're like, okay, this kid is here to help me, I'm here to help him, and you guys both help each other keep your guys' goals in front of you. Sure enough, we did that for 3 solid years, and next year he's going to be starting medical school, I'm going to be starting medical school, so all that hard work really paid its dividends. Another quick note to make under this conversation is make sure to change up your study area. So for me, I'd mostly like to enjoy studying on the 3rd floor of the library, which was the silent floor of the library. And sometimes I'd like to change it up. So if I wasn't doing too strenuous work, I would like to go to a local coffee shop near school and spend 2-3 hours there just doing whatever work I had to do or reviewing material. Or say I really didn't have that much work, or it wasn't like super serious work, it was just like a worksheet that I had to do, or I had to watch a video and answer some questions, or whatever the case may be. Some of us friends would go together and we go to the basement of the library, which was the more talkative floor, and we just chill, relax, talk, but we'd also be getting our work done. So understand that studying doesn't have to be something horrible, it can be enjoyable. So the last and final advice that I wish someone would have told me going to college, and I'm telling you guys now, step out of your comfort zone. So I'm not saying go try some new drug or go get blacked out at a party, but what I'm trying to say is get out of your shell and go try a new organization that you might have not found yourself, even thinking of trying. Or go try a new sport, go join a new club, go get involved in some research. Even if you have no idea what research is, go ask your professor, go learn about it. And the reason is because you'll learn more about yourself and what you like and what you don't like through the process. So when it comes to applying for graduate school, if you plan on doing that, then you could really hone in on specific programs, and that program might lead you to a specific direction that you discovered that you liked because you went out of your shell and tried these different activities. For example, I have a friend who's a psychology major with a concentration in neuroscience, and she wants to get a PhD or go into graduate school into research, but she didn't know what specific research she wanted to do. So during her freshman year, sophomore year, junior year, even senior year, she did research in various different labs and various different types of research. So she focused in on psychology, like testing, like how the brain works. She did research with rats to see how the endocrine system works and how the brain works in relation to the endocrine system. And she then did research with amputees and how brain signaling works with amputees. And she ended up liking only one of those 3 things. And those were working with amputees and figuring out how they work. So the point here is that she was then able to figure out and hone in on programs for graduate school that focus on amputee psychological research. So if she hadn't done those 3 different types of research, then she wouldn't have known what she likes and what she didn't like. And because she figured out what she likes, she was then able to create a plan and a future for herself. So the point here is get out of your comfort zone, get out of your shell, go try something new. That way you'll learn more about yourself and you'll be very surprised with what you like or what you don't like. So I hope this video helps some of you guys who are going to be starting college soon. I wish you all the best with your guys' journey. College is a great time. It's a time where you learn about yourself, what you like, what you don't like. So make sure to take advantage of that. Make sure to hit that subscribe button and hit the like button while you're down there. And I'll see you guys in the next video.